But there's another aspect to art that AI can't replace, at least in theory,
Originality?
right? No, not even that. Not even that.
What's that?
Because one of the things that I look to is what is celebrity now. And celebrity now, all celebrities now, almost all celebrities now,
Okay.
as in actual singers and actors and
People
so
who
on,
are famous for
art, right?
Okay,
not just reality shows.
Okay, cool.
But they're all to some degree reality show stars now. Right? Taylor Swift is popular not just for her music, but for her personality.
Yes. Yes, so there's a
Right?
there's
Sabrina
a level
Carpenter.
There's a level of personality that
Right?
comes with being.
You could
that sort
argue
of
Sabrina Carpenter, her talent is not overshadowing the importance of her personality, right? And how she presents herself. Because then the personality, in many ways, it enhances your enjoyment of the art. A lot of Asian, I can't speak to India, but Chinese, Japanese, South Korean celebrities, they go on variety shows, a lot of celebrity variety shows. They have their own YouTube shows where either they are doing something that's similar to reality TV with competitions and little...
They do a lot of personality type
But
sort of
also, a lot of like, we're on vacation, just watch us on vacation, right? And you get a lot of the real person in it. So then the fandom now, because this is a way, you know, to separate you individually from everybody else, separate your group from everybody else, separate the members of your group from each other. The fandom now is able to engage with their favorite singers and artists in ways that you couldn't necessarily do before, because now when they sing certain songs, particularly when it's a personal message, it's all in there. Now when you are there for their personal triumphs, all that to say, you can't get that from AI.
Right, yeah. No, yeah, you can't get the personality.
Right?
That is true, that is true.
And maybe in the past, when celebrities were more products of a studio and a system, right? Even a celebrity like Michael Jackson, who was private, so arguably he is behind the system, right? But first of all, to some extent, there's some artistic choices he makes that is so unique to him. It's like, well, at AI, you know, it just won't work. You have to have a sense of timing, you know, like professional wrestlers understand this, comedians understand this. You know, you have to understand the moment and have time in the moment. Michael Jackson was a boss of understanding that when he would just stand there and everybody would scream till they pass out for like 10 minutes. He ain't even start the show yet because he understood the moment.
So that's an interesting thing, because you spoke about the AI can't capture personality, and that sort of falls under, that sort of overlaps with originality and the originality of thought and originality of the art itself. I think something that I'm kind of fearful of, and I'd like to speak to the artists out there, I think we as artists need to be responsible about how we use AI and to ensure that we don't use it in a way that replaces our artists, our art colleagues, right? So if I'm having a concert and I need something designed, I'm going to talk to a designer I mean, I have the graphic design skills just because I have a certain level of training, right? But if I don't have that, and I can get somebody, and I can pay somebody, hire somebody to design something, then I am investing into the industry, the greater art industry. But if I myself am an artist, and I turn to AI and I replace the graphic designer completely, what does that say about my honesty and my level of integrity as an artist? Because then I am not contributing well to the greater industry, to the greater, you know, the greater good of the industry.
A business could get away with it, but I don't think they could sustain it forever, because you'll be capped on how much conceptually you could go. If you want to do a rebranding with all new concepts, you might be able to get something out of it from the AI, but that's a roll of the dice. Because the further away you go from whatever you've done before, unless you have a point of reference, but listen, you can't copy someone else's brand concept, right? You might your brand individuality and awareness might suffer because of that. So you need something, goes back to what you said, original. So for business, yeah, if you're now starting off and you don't have a budget, and that's all you could do, that's all you could do. Okay. But at some point, you'll limit yourself, right?
So there are these, and this is a conversation that we've had before, sort of.
But you didn't say why you brought this up today, which was the most interesting point.
What's that?
The first local AI.
I didn't even want to mention that because that's. But
we should mention it because it goes to the point you just made.
Yeah. So I don't know if people have seen it, but there's sort of like a viral clip of like an AI soca song with an AI person singing said soca song, and like the entire lyrics and the music was generated using AI. I've seen a lot of discussions happening about it. Some people like it, some people don't like it. A lot of artists are saying like this is not great for the industry, and some other artists are saying, well, this is great for the industry because I never felt heard by the industry before. So if I can do my own thing and generate an AI thing and make it go viral and make it go popular, why not? There's only so far that viral and popular can take you, all right? And this is the thing, and I want to add to the point that I just made. If we as artists are using it and replacing each other, it's only a matter of time until it replaces you. So if I, as a singer, am not using the graphic designer, or I'm not using the theater person to write my script, then who's to say that somebody won't use AI to use my voice? And then the singer is no longer hired, then the musician is no longer hired, then the producer is no longer hired. We are interconnected. So to have us, ourselves, replace each other, that's not good. That's not good. It's very, very dangerous, and it's a slippery slope.
But here's the thing, if everybody uses AI and soca, won't it eventually just all sound the same? Not just in terms of production and lyrics, but also voices, because whose voice are you using? Are you copying a real person's voice? You could sue you for that. So then you're going to try to get an AI soca voice that will everything will sound generic, right? Yeah. At the end of the day, listen, you might not like certain unique voices, but Nyla's voice is unique. Certain other artists throughout the years, their voices are unique.
The artist has a very, very particular writing style, and he's consistent. He's very consistent.
When you look at like rappers, especially how they're unique, right?
Their poetry, like the hip hop, the poetry in rap and hip hop, like that.
No, but not just that. Look, Sean Kingston. If you get an AI that sounds like Sean Kingston, it will be fairly obvious who you sampled, right? You can't do that. AI will not give you original, new, unique voices in musical performances. Yeah. Yeah. So there is that. And like you said, if everybody starts using it, you'll be replaced. But the industry might suffer because of it, because at that point in time, what's the point, right? Part of when it is strong is because everyone has a voice and it's unique. I think, though, it might take the place for some artists of songwriters, right? But then the flip side is, again, if you're not careful, you'll limit how far you could grow with regards to your songwriting and your production values.
Of course. And I think it's just a matter of us, the industry, us in the industry, looking out for each other and making sure that we hire each other and making sure that we're fine throughout the entire thing. So the
industry itself needs to figure out a way to grow, but then also society needs to determine, do we really want to have this thing, right? Because what could easily happen is we kill it because AI is cheaper, right? And we just think, we could replace everything in AI. And then 10 years later, we're like, why don't we have a soca industry anymore? And then we'll lament about the old time days and the old time ways all over again.
That does happen every year. Like there are countless examples of that happening. But just as we wrap up, I really just need to make this point again. I hope it helps someone, but we really need to be very aware of our level of integrity and honesty, especially in the industry, right? Because if it's not somebody else, it's going to be you. Sean makes this point on Talking Point quite a lot, actually. Like if we're not worried about, if we say, well, like them, that's not us. At some point, it might be. And we have to be careful of running that. We have to be careful of running that risk. All right, we need to make sure that we're honest in everything that we, as much as possible. I know it's hard. I'm not saying I'm a perfect person. I'm far from. But we really need to try our best to hold ourselves to a higher standard, hold our audience members to a higher standard, because sometimes they don't know that a higher standard exists until we present it to them. And then with that, maybe the industry can actually grow exponentially.
Or to start or to finish where we began, there's a big difference between having a human reach and attain perfection as opposed to hearing something artificial sound perfect. And that's why you should go see the One Voice concert.
Thank you very much. With that, Trinidad and Tobago, we will be right back. Going to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere.